Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will sting. There are people walking on this planet right now who are not smarter than you, not richer than you, not even more talented than you, yet somehow they stay 2 steps ahead while everyone else struggles to understand how they keep winning. And here's the part nobody wants to hear. It's not an accident. It's not fate. It's not luck. They are following laws, silent, ruthless, psychological laws that the rest of the world never learns. If you've ever felt like people underestimate you, if you've ever felt like your potential is being wasted, if you've ever wondered why others rise while you stay stuck in place, then pay attention. Because after this video, you will never look at power, people, or yourself the same way again. Machiavelli understood a truth that most people fear. Power is not given, power is taken, and the ones who take it, they don't wait, they don't ask, they don't hope. They use the laws you're about to learn. These 7 ruthless laws are the secret strategies that keep geniuses above everyone else. They let you control outcomes, shape people, guide perceptions, and move through the world with quiet dominance. Some people will hate these laws, some will deny them, some will pretend they're too nice or too moral to use them. But guess what? They're already being used on them. Right now. By bosses, by competitors, by strangers, by every powerful person who understands how the game is actually played. Today, you stop being the target. Today, you learn how the game works. And once you learn these laws, you can never unlearn them. Before we start, I want you to write this affirmation in the comments. Power begins in the mind. That is your affirmation. Because the moment your mind changes, everything changes. Now take a breath. Ready yourself. Because the first law hits harder than all the others. Law 1. Limited option control. Control the options, not the choice. If you truly want to understand power, start here. This law is the backbone of every genius-level strategist. It is quiet, subtle, and nearly invisible, until you recognize it everywhere. Most people think control means force. They think power comes from pressure, threats, arguments, or dominance. But geniuses, they know you don't need to force anyone when you can shape the environment that surrounds them. You don't limit people. You limit the options they can choose from. That's the secret. A smart ruler never says, "Do what I want." He says, "Here are your choices," knowing every single one leads exactly where he planned. It feels like freedom. It looks like autonomy. But it's engineered from the start. Imagine handing someone 2 keys. They feel powerful because they get to pick the key. But both keys unlock your door. That's how quiet dominance works. Parents do it to children. Leaders do it to followers. Companies do it to customers. And powerful people do it to the world. If you want something done, never ask, "Will you do this?" Instead ask, "Do you want to do it now or later?" Should we go with Plan A or Plan B? Which version do you prefer? Every path leads to the outcome you already decided. This creates psychological comfort. People feel involved, they feel respected, they feel in control. But in reality, you built the cage, they only picked the corner. Machiavelli once said, "The best way to control a decision is to control the choices." He knew humans will fight commands, but they rarely resist curated freedom. This law works because the human mind hates uncertainty. When someone presents a clean set of options, the fear of the unknown disappears. They choose faster, they feel safe, and because they chose, they don't resist the outcome. Geniuses use this law everywhere. In negotiation, they offer 2 deals, both profitable to them. In leadership, they guide teams with structured paths instead of open chaos. In conflict, they give opponents choices that drain their power, no matter what. The beauty of this law is its subtlety. No pressure, no confrontation, just intelligent design. If you want to rise above others, stop trying to control people directly. Control the landscape they make choices in. Shape the frame. Guide the path. Manage the alternatives. Let them choose freely, but only from the world you created. Because here's the truth. People defend their decisions, even if the decision was engineered for them. That means once they choose your option, they stand behind it. They reinforce it. They protect it. You gain compliance without resistance and loyalty without force. This is why geniuses stay ahead. It's not because they manipulate aggressively. It's because they design choices strategically. Remember this. The one who defines the options controls the outcome. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I control the choices. Law 2. Play to people's fantasies. Sell the dream, not the truth. There's a reason the most powerful people in history understood human fantasy better than human logic. Because logic doesn't move crowds. Logic doesn't inspire loyalty. Logic doesn't build influence. But fantasy? Fantasy rules the human mind. People are driven by hopes, desires, fears, illusions, and dreams they barely admit to themselves. Every person alive carries a secret vision of who they wish they were, how they wish life looked, how they want others to see them. And the genius understands this. He doesn't fight reality. He decorates it. He doesn't preach truth. He packages dreams. He doesn't sell facts. He sells feelings. Because feelings make people move. Here's the truth most never accept. People don't want the raw world. They want the world softened, polished, and shaped in a way that gives them hope. Machiavelli once said, "Men are driven more by appearance than by reality," and nothing has changed since his time. Look around you. Advertisements convince you you're special. Politicians promise paradise. Influencers paint perfect lives. Businesses promise success without suffering. It's all fantasy, and people eat it up, not because they're foolish, but because fantasy gives emotional relief from a painful world. It lets them escape. It lets them feel important. It lets them imagine a better version of themselves. When you learn this law, you stop wasting time trying to wake people up. You stop giving them brutal honesty. You stop trying to be the hero of truth. Truth is heavy. Fantasy is light. And when you offer people something light, they follow effortlessly. Here's how geniuses play to fantasy. They identify emotional hunger. Some want status. Some want praise. Some want comfort. Some want adventure. Some want validation. Some want meaning. Then they speak directly to that hunger. Not with complicated ideas, but with vivid images. You can rise. You can win. You can escape. You can become who you were meant to be. It doesn't matter if the dream has edges of reality or illusion. What matters is how it feels. Fantasy draws people in. Truth pushes people away. That's why prophets, leaders, business icons, and creative thinkers all use this law. They create symbols, stories, and visions that ignite emotion. Consider this. People don't follow the best plan. They follow the best story. They don't want reality. They want meaning wrapped in emotion. The genius understands he doesn't have to lie. He only has to illuminate the most inspiring version of the truth. Fantasy is not deception. It's emotional strategy. When you talk to people's fantasies, you bypass their defenses. You bypass their doubts. You bypass their logic. And you speak directly to their heart. That is influence. Remember, the world will always choose what feels good over what is real. Now drop this affirmation in the comments. I speak to desire. Law 3. Discover each person's thumbscrew. Find their weakness. Everyone has a button. You just need to find it. If you want real power, stop watching what people say and start watching what makes them react. Because beneath every confident smile, every loud voice, every calm expression, every controlled posture, there is always a hidden pressure point, a fear, a shame, a desire, an insecurity, a wound, a craving, a soft spot they protect with their whole personality. And the genius knows this. To influence someone, you don't push them, you press the right button. Human behavior is not random. It is always driven by an emotional core. And when you find that core, you gain leverage no force can match. Machiavelli once said, "To command others, one must first understand what commands them." This is the heart of this law. You don't discover a person's thumbscrew by asking. You discover it by observing. Watch what topics make them defensive. Watch what compliments light their face up. Watch what insults trigger rage. Watch what silence makes them uncomfortable. Watch what they brag about. Watch what they avoid. Watch what they fear losing. People reveal everything through reactions. Take someone who always tries to prove they're strong. Their thumbscrew is weakness. Take someone obsessed with approval. Their thumbscrew is rejection. Take someone who needs to feel superior. Their thumbscrew is inferiority. Take someone who overshares. Their thumbscrew is loneliness. Take someone who shows no emotion. Their thumbscrew is vulnerability. The genius does not judge these weaknesses. He studies them. Because once you know what someone needs, you know how to lead them. And make no mistake, everyone needs something, a sense of importance, a feeling of safety, a source of validation, a promise of belonging, a vision of success, a shield against fear. Understanding this isn't manipulation, it's mastery of human psychology. Weak people press buttons blindly. Powerful people press buttons intentionally. But here's the part most people overlook. Thumbscrews are not only negative. Some weaknesses come from longing. Longing for respect. Longing for comfort. Longing for recognition. Longing for hope. A person's dream can be as powerful as their fear. The genius learns both. And once you identify the emotional lever, influence becomes effortless. You can calm someone instantly. You can motivate someone with a single sentence. You can shut down aggression with a precise response. You can guide decisions without direct force. You gain power without raising your voice. This law is not about cruelty. It's about clarity. You can't understand people until you understand what moves them. Because when you know a person's emotional pressure point, you understand their entire behavior, why they choose, why they run, why they fight, why they obey, why they chase, why they collapse, why they cling. And once you understand those patterns, you hold the invisible reins. Remember this. People can hide their words, but they can't hide their reactions. Reactions tell the truth. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I read people clearly. Law 4. Act like a king to be treated like one. Carry yourself like royalty. The world treats you how you treat yourself. Power is a mirror. People don't just react to what you do. They respond to how you exist in the world. If you present yourself weak, small, uncertain, or unsure, that is exactly what you will receive in return. If you present yourself strong, confident, and deliberate, the world will bend to respect it. The genius understands this. They know that perception is reality. They know the human brain doesn't always analyze skill, intelligence, or knowledge. It judges energy, posture, tone, and presence. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." But commanding doesn't come from shouting. It comes from the way you carry yourself. Imagine a king walking into a room. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't plead for respect. He doesn't demand validation. He simply moves with a quiet authority. His posture, his silence, his glance, his pace, every movement communicates one thing: I am valuable. I am in control. I am not to be questioned. This is what geniuses emulate in their own lives. Every action is deliberate. Every gesture signals worth. Every pause communicates power. The principle is simple: respect yourself first, and the world will follow. Walk like a person who owns the space. Speak like a person whose words carry weight. Remain silent when others chatter. They will reveal themselves while you remain unshaken. Acting like a king is not arrogance. It is strategic presence. It is armor. It is a way to set the terms of interaction before a single word is spoken. The real power lies in subtlety. It's not about showing off. It's about making people feel your weight without lifting a finger. Confidence is contagious. Weakness is obvious. People constantly test others. They try to find cracks, moments of doubt, hesitation. The genius is prepared. They never let their guard slip in public spaces. They never shrink under scrutiny. They project stability and certainty even in chaos. Acting like a king transforms how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself. The mind is powerful. When you believe in your own worth, the world begins to mirror it. The key is consistency. Royalty is not about moments. It's about habit, repetition, and presence. Every gesture, every word, every glance reinforces your image. Remember, if you don't respect yourself, why should anyone else? Your energy sets the standard. Your confidence dictates behavior. Your presence is the unspoken law that people obey. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I command respect. Law 5. Master the art of timing. It's not what you do, it's when you do it. Timing is everything. There is a difference between doing the right thing at the wrong time and doing the wrong thing at the right time. One destroys your influence, the other multiplies it. Geniuses know that action alone does not create power. Timing is the invisible force behind every victory. It separates the brilliant from the lucky, the unstoppable from the ordinary. Machiavelli once said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." But notice the subtlety. It's not just speed, it's precision, it's calculation, it's patience wrapped in anticipation. It's understanding the rhythm of human behavior, the flow of events, the mood of the moment. Timing is about observation. It's about recognizing when the moment is ripe and when it is poisoned. It's about watching, listening, calculating, and waiting until all variables align. Rushing leads to mistakes. Impatience erodes advantage. The early move is wasted if conditions are not favorable. The late move is useless if opportunities have passed. The genius acts like a predator. He observes the herd. He studies movement patterns. He waits silently until the exact moment the prey is vulnerable. And then, strike. Patience is not passivity. It is calculated restraint. It is knowing that the right move at the wrong time is worse than no move at all. Power is not about constant action. It is about decisive action at the perfect instant. Observe reactions. Observe trends. Observe hesitation. The world constantly signals readiness. You just need the eyes to see it. A genius never forces timing. He bends events to align with his move. He influences outcomes not only by what he does, but by when he does it. Remember this. People misjudge impatience as confidence. They misjudge hesitation as weakness. But the one who masters timing knows exactly when the world will tip in his favor. He does not rush. He does not stall. He simply waits until the precise moment that maximizes impact. Timing is invisible. It is silent. It does not announce itself. Yet it determines everything. The same action at different times can produce victory or disaster. The genius understands this principle better than most. He does not merely act. He waits, calculates, and then acts with certainty. Your power grows not from speed alone, but from knowing when to move, when to pause, and when to strike. Master timing, and the world bends to your rhythm. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I act at the perfect moment. Law 6. Ignore what you can't control. Don't react. Don't waste energy. Silence is power. One of the deadliest mistakes a person can make is to fight the uncontrollable. Most people waste years, energy, and emotion reacting to things beyond their influence. They argue, they complain, they obsess, they allow external chaos to consume them, and in doing so, they surrender power willingly. The genius understands a fundamental truth. You can't control others, but you can control yourself. Your response is yours alone. Your mind, your decisions, your calm. These are your ultimate weapons. Machiavelli once said, "He who wishes to be obeyed must first control himself." Observe the world. People provoke. People manipulate. People test limits. They try to pull you into drama, outrage, or emotional reactions. But the genius knows that to engage is to surrender. Silence is not weakness. It is strategy. Ignoring insults, dismissing provocations, refusing to be baited. These are marks of mastery. When you stop reacting, chaos loses its hold over you. When you stop seeking approval or validation, manipulators lose their leverage. This law is about energy management. Every reaction consumes force, attention, and clarity. Every emotional response gives others power over you. But restraint transforms your presence into something untouchable. The genius treats provocation like a game played at a distance. They watch, they listen, they absorb, but they never surrender the center of their mind. They understand. The storm outside does not dictate the calm within. Control comes from the ability to remain untouched by forces outside your sphere. When you master this law, people realize you are untouchable. Attempts to manipulate, provoke, or coerce fail. They scream, threaten, and push, but you remain unmoved. Think of this law as armor. Every moment you ignore what you cannot influence, you preserve your strength. Every instance you react unnecessarily, you weaken yourself. Every silence in the face of provocation builds fear and respect. Remember, the world will always throw chaos at you. It will attempt to distract, annoy, and destabilize. Those who react get trapped. Those who control themselves rise above. Someone insults you? Don't respond. Someone spreads lies? Don't chase them. Someone tries to drag you into drama? Step aside. The genius becomes like water, fluid, patient, unstoppable. You don't fight rivers, you redirect. You don't chase storms, you wait for the calm. Let them scream into the void while you move forward. Let them waste energy while you build influence. Let them react while you remain untouchable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is my strength. Law 7. Create compelling spectacles. Control the image. Create the show. Make them feel, not think. Facts are fleeting. Information is ignored. Logic can be debated, analyzed, and dismissed. But spectacle sears itself into the mind. It commands attention. It shapes perception. It becomes memory. Geniuses understand that people are emotional first and rational second. They respond to what they see, hear, and feel, not what they are told. They follow what captures their imagination. They remember what shocks, excites, or amazes them. Machiavelli once said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel." A spectacle is not mere drama. It is controlled narrative. It is deliberate design. It is the art of influencing perception while leaving people convinced they reached conclusions themselves. Look around history. Kings and conquerors mastered spectacle. Napoleon's grand entrance inspired armies. Caesar's triumphs awed Rome. Even modern leaders and brands understand it. Presentation can overshadow reality. A genius doesn't just act. They create scenes that leave an imprint on the mind. Spectacle works because humans crave stories and symbols. A simple message is forgettable. A vivid visual, an unexpected act, or a powerful ritual creates a sense of awe. It grabs attention. It stirs emotion. It bypasses rational critique. The genius uses spectacle in multiple ways. In leadership, public appearances, rituals, and symbols create loyalty and admiration. In negotiation, strategic gestures or displays signal dominance without confrontation. In social influence, controlled displays of power, skill, or knowledge compel attention and obedience. But spectacle is not random. It must be aligned with your image, your goals, and your audience. The wrong display can backfire. The right display, however, turns ordinary actions into legendary feats. Geniuses combine symbolism with emotion. They use contrast, calm and chaos, silence and sound, subtlety and boldness. They create tension, then release it at the precise moment to maximize effect. Spectacle also masks strategy. While others are dazzled, the genius moves quietly behind the scenes. The crowd sees only grandeur. The plan remains invisible. Remember, logic convinces the mind. Spectacle captures the heart, and the heart always wins. Your task is to design moments that feel larger than life. Moments people will talk about, remember, and associate with you. Moments that make them feel, not analyze. This is the art of influence at its purest. When executed correctly, spectacle transforms ordinary people into legends. It commands respect. It inspires fear. It generates devotion. And it ensures that your presence, influence, and legacy are unforgettable. Now that you know the 7 ruthless laws, understand this. These aren't theories. They are weapons. Silent, invisible, psychological weapons. Every moment you walk through the world without mastering them, someone else is using them on you. Imagine life as a chessboard. Some people move blindly, reacting to every impulse, every insult, every opportunity they didn't see coming. The geniuses, they study the board, anticipate every move, manipulate the options, strike at the perfect moment, and remain untouchable. Limited options, playing to fantasies, knowing every person's thumbscrew, commanding respect, mastering timing, ignoring what you can't control, creating unforgettable spectacles. This is the toolkit of people who rise above mediocrity. These are the strategies that separate the thinkers from the dreamers, the doers from the spectators. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Power does not wait. It moves. It flows. It's claimed by those who understand the rules, or invented by them. If you continue to follow the crowd, to react instead of calculate, to hope instead of plan, you are not just losing. You are invisible. You are a pawn. And pawns get sacrificed. But here's the gift. Knowledge changes everything. You now see the patterns, the levers, the ways to rise. You now have the choice. Stay asleep in a world that will run over you, or step into the game fully awake. The question is simple. Will you use these laws? Will you remain a spectator, waiting for luck to decide your fate? Or will you become the strategist, the thinker, the person who shapes reality itself? If you're ready to claim your power, start today. Implement these laws deliberately. Observe carefully, move strategically, and never forget, the world respects those who project mastery before they speak. Before you go, drop a comment with the law that hit you hardest. Let it resonate with your mind. Like this video. Share this with someone who thinks they are already awake, and subscribe for more insights that teach you how to dominate without mercy. Remember, the game is already being played. The only question is whether you are a player or a piece. Choose wisely. Your next move decides everything. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am a master of the game.